Hey guys, Pitmaster here. All right, I get this topic a lot, and I wanna go over it because I somebody asked me yesterday. So it's mentally preparing for a fight. I've had a lot of fights in and out of the ring, um, or I should say and out of the street. Um, so first of all, let me say preparing for a street fight. When I say street fight, I don't mean like two guys duking it out, with a bunch of people cheering. I mean a street attack. Um, Mentally preparing for that is a lot different than mentally preparing for a sport fight, such as an MMA match, kickboxing, boxing, or whatever. Um, so let's go over the street fight first. First of all, you don't really have the time. Your average um, training camp for an MMA fight or boxing, kickboxing, whatever, is 8 to 12 weeks. So in 8 to 12 weeks, you're training for that fight. Do you see that right there? That's where the dog scratches on the door. When the dog that's sleeping right there, that's Morgan sleeping. But when he gets up, he scratches on the door because he wants to get out. That's why that door has that right behind me. But anyway, okay. So sorry about that. Um, so training for a street fight just happens usually. Okay, you're walking down the street, somebody attacks you. You got to be prepared. So the mentally preparing yourself has to be done in your training, right? It has to be done in your training, number one, and number two. A lot of people have a killer instinct. I mean, you jump them, they're gonna like turn into a freaking tiger right away and just tear you apart. And some guys get jumped, they hesitate. But either one of those two, without proper training, is going to be very ineffective. So by training, you are mentally preparing yourself because the confidence starts building. Your physical conditioning, your strength, your power, and your techniques. So the mental training in a street fight for a street fight has already been done. You're not like living your life always thinking, I'm gonna get jumped. What should I do? I'm training your mind. That's not how it works. But in an MMA match or a sport fight, like kickboxing or boxing, MMA, whatever, that whole 8 to 12 weeks, you're thinking about that fight that's gonna happen in 8 to 12 weeks. So like you have a date on that fight. So it's a whole different training. It's a whole different mental preparation as well. So the two are similar in that the harder you train, the more you'll be confident in sport or street. Okay, but you don't have a date, a specific time where you're going to fight in the street. So you have to always have that preparedness. Just wherever you go, that confidence gives you the mental preparedness. Okay. So the second thing is when you fight in the ring or the cage, the sport fight, it's a sport fight. So that's what you're fighting to win a title, money, a trophy, or something, right? Admiration from your fans. So you're trying to win that. So you have that to go on, and that's hard. That adds to your mental preparation. I mean, you're preparing to fight someone sometimes that you like. Like Chuck didn't like Tito, so it's easy training for Tito because he was like, he pretends the bag is Tito and he's going to knock out the bag. But he did like Randy Couture. They were buddies. So training for Randy was a whole different mental preparation. He didn't like, I want to hurt him. I want to hurt him like he did with Tito. So it was a whole different mental preparation. He just wanted more money, more fame, whatever, right? And he was a competitive guy. In the street, right? If somebody attacks you, you want to go home to your family. So that mental preparation is kind of built into your fight or flight. You don't have the fight or flight in a sport fight because it's not win or die. In the street, it's win or die. So it's a whole different ball of wax and it hits you like boom. Somebody attacks you, boom, you're mentally, prepared or not. You don't have time to build up to it. So it's kind of a different situation, and the differences are the goal. The goal of the fight is to go home safe to your family in the street, to win a title or whatever in the sport. So it's a whole different mental preparation. One is more visceral. One is fight or flight. You're either going to win or die. So it's a whole different preparation. It's a whole different mental preparation in the goal or the outcome of the fight. But mentally preparing, physically preparing for both is pretty much the same. You just train really hard condition wise, because you're going to fail either one, sport or street, condition wise, if you're not in top shape. Power and strength and the effectiveness of your techniques as well. So there's a lot of differences and a lot of similarities to mental preparation, but at the end of the day, physically preparing for the fight is your best mental preparation for the fight, if that makes sense. It all boils down to that. Whether it's the street or the cage or the ring, being physically prepared is your best mental preparation. That is yeah, I used to, but I think they're breaking away from the pit now, the Indiana. So I probably won't be coming out there. I have before, but yeah, I don't know. I think they're breaking away from the pit. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, so that's like simple, but it's complicated, right? The whole thing, it's so different because of the outcome, but the physical preparation is the same for both, and it makes the mental preparation that much better and more effective. All right. So that's what I got to say. If you have any questions, comments, please share this, and please comment on this, because I'm doing it live, but I know a lot of you guys are going to come on later and watch, and I really appreciate your guys' comments. All right. And I do look at every single one of them, and I'm going to respond to all of them this week. I promise. I will respond to every comment. Thanks.